about Meghan Markle, because she's in the Sun today, pausing her jam firm in case it gets annoying. Apparently, some kind of reality has set in. Angela, very good morning to you. She thinks she might be annoying.
She thinks people might be annoying.
Yeah.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has allegedly banned the sale of Meghan Markle's highly anticipated organic jams, citing serious registration errors and possible consumer safety issues. This is just another devastating humiliation from the actress. Meghan's successful rebranding into the leisure sector has now descended into a PR and legal catastrophe. The Duchess didn't even bother properly registering the product with the FDA, according to people close to the agency.
And one after the other. If they've got to wait, it's going to be terrible. So she wipes them out. This is what she was talking about to Tina Knowles, the mother of Beyonce. It was her last podcast. Last week was her last podcast.
A startling omission that betrays carelessness and amateurism. Meghan is saddened and enraged by this public regulatory slapdown. According to insiders, the product was sold and distributed without adhering to fundamental food safety regulations, as health watchdogs warn. As a result, public trust is declining and the reaction is intensifying. FDA whistleblowers made the first and most incriminating discovery, confirming that Meghan's fruit spread was never properly registered with the FDA food facility registration.
Tina gave her a real whopping, really. She kept telling her, well, it's not a good idea to let things run out. And what are you doing? Get on with it, girl.
Every food product meant for interstate commerce is required by federal law to be registered with the agency, go through inspections, and adhere to food safety regulations. Meghan's product has been taken off the market. This goes beyond a simple administrative error. It is a serious infraction of food safety regulations. When it comes to public health, the FDA is a serious player. This is either egregious carelessness or brilliant audacity for a celebrity with Meghan's wealth and alleged top advisors. Did she believe she was immune because she was a royal? Even worse, the jar boldly said that it was 100% organic, yet there was no USDA organic certification to support this claim. This mark is tightly regulated by the US Department of Agriculture.
Meghan then said, we don't know how many tears she's cried while she's got all this ready. It's been so difficult because she's done so much work. So it's a very extraordinary way of behaving and not doing anything for 6 months.
Therefore, it is not just deceptive, but also unlawful to use it without verification. Food law lawyers and consumer rights groups are furious about this action. They contend that Meghan deceived thousands of customers into thinking her product was approved when in reality there was no verifiable proof to support that assertion. Additionally, keep in mind that organic labeling is a health claim as well as a branding strategy, and as such, deceiving customers might have serious legal repercussions, particularly if the product is linked to any health problems. It's not another PR blunder. Both federal law and consumer safety are directly threatened by this. Health professionals didn't hold back when the tale gained popularity. News outlets interviewed a number of dietitians and FDA advisors who all agreed that marketing unlicensed food items to the general public is not only immoral, but also harmful.
I thought that nobody was buying it, actually, but you've got to cover it. You've got to make sure that people don't really believe this. So that's it. But what she did say was Lilibet, who's actually 4 today. There's a picture of her with her mother's hair all over her, so we can't really see what she's like.
There is no record of the jam's manufacturing location, ingredients, or hygienic practices if it is not properly registered. This isn't about jam, as one food safety expert put it plainly. It has to do with responsibility. Without a verifiable safety record, this may be in pantries all throughout America. Meghan essentially played with public health while promoting her company as luxurious, safe, and natural. What makes it luxurious? Jam that could be tainted. What caused social media to go awry when news broke, endangering people's aesthetic?
All the time, that would be so sweet. But it was a hideous discussion, and she was trying to get the best out of it about herself, that she was so clever and she was doing it right because she wanted people to be so happy, but they're not going to be happy if they can't get it and if they don't want it.
What's taken with captions like FDA stated, Nope, and beware of Meghan's royal jam. Talkers and YouTubers started recording themselves tossing the gem in the garbage. Hashtags like hashtag jamscam and hashtag notsoever started trending on various platforms. A former Meghan admirer said, "I supported her" in one of the widely shared videos. "I feel deceived now that I purchased her brand. I had faith in her. Name stood for quality. I was mistaken." For those who thought Meghan would somehow emerge from the royal ashes and rebrand, the betrayal was particularly painful.
Eyes from the royal ashes.
Completely vacuous, and she thinks next time she might not do food, she might do cutlery or something like that. And you think, okay, but meanwhile the people who've paid for food and haven't got it are actually very angry. So how are you working? How are you getting on? I mean, it's she's
become a wellness tycoon of the contemporary day. Instead, the general public received a product that was unregistered, unverified, and unreliable. And that's only the start of the legal dangers and retail criticism. Meghan Markle may have just destroyed her last hope of gaining the public's confidence as this issue continues to spiral out of control. If the FDA doesn't forgive, the public won't either. So keep an eye out, because what follows might be her largest reckoning to yet. Food industry experts publicly criticized Meghan's strategy within hours of the FDA's disclosure. A top food consultant from a large health brand told Page Six that Meghan Markle may have just destroyed her last hope of gaining the public's confidence as this issue continues to spiral out of control. If the FDA doesn't forgive, the public won't either. So keep an eye out, because what follows might be her largest reckoning to yet. Food industry experts publicly criticized Meghan's strategy within hours of the FDA's disclosure. A top food consultant from a large health brand told Page Six
ahead. She needs help, but yesterday out came this long podcast about her, and she got a good telling off. And then later that afternoon, out came a message that anyone who wants strawberries or raspberry jam, please get in touch.
Meghan Markle's brand empire is about anything other than projection. Get ready, because we are officially watching what can only be described as a full-blown credibility collapse. So amateur it makes Trump's windmill conspiracy look like a Harvard case study. And folks, yes, it hit harder than Musk trying to explain AI without sounding dumb, or Biden forgetting the word China mid-speech. Because boom, just like that, suddenly Meghan's latest product launch isn't just failing, it's being called embarrassingly unprofessional, with critics pointing to a total lack of regulatory oversight, vague production details, and overhyped marketing that looks less like transparency and more like damage control written in disappearing ink and delivered with zero accountability. And honey, nothing says hollow vanity project quite like building an empire focused more on Instagram-worthy aesthetics than actual consumer safety. While real small food founders who spent months navigating legal hurdles, certifications, and inspections struggle for shelf space like they're running a startup from their kitchen instead of following every rule in the book. So yes, while Meghan keeps pretending this is about empowerment, about entrepreneurship, about breaking free from royal constraints, she's not inspiring millions, she's exhausting them. And trust me, nothing says exposure quite like having your multi-million-dollar operation compared to a college student selling jam from their dorm room like it's part of a TikTok hustle trend gone wrong. Because when your idea of business looks less like innovation and more like illusion wrapped in velvet and turtlenecks, someone always shows up with the right mic, the right timing, and the right amount of sass to remind everyone that truth doesn't need a title to land hard. It just needs light, a little pressure, and comedians, critics, and truth tellers across the internet willing to dissect your act frame by frame. And baby, that scalpel just got sharper than ever. Boom. Just like that, folks. Checkmate in the messiest way possible.
The next day, she is doing it. Please ring a number and we'll try and help you.
Well, it's not that hard to deal with a couple of requests. It's a couple of thousand you can't deal with, but I don't think there's that many. So they can probably just do it on the basis of just send us an email and we'll send you a jar.
Yes.
That seems to be how it...
Meghan Markle's brand is bulletproof. Get ready, because we are officially watching what can only be described as a full-blown retail reckoning so fast and furious it made her once celebrated lifestyle line look less like empowerment and more like a clearance bin fire sale. And folks, yes, it hit harder than Musk trying to explain inflation without sounding dumb, or Trump rewriting history with Sharpie ink at 3 a.m. Because boom, just like that, suddenly Meghan's wellness brand As You Are wasn't just trending for celebrity appeal anymore, it was tanking under the weight of scandal, backlash, and a public relations disaster so deep it made South Park's latest roast look tame by comparison. Retailers across California who once rushed to stock the product because of its royal name recognition and media, yes honey, we caught that too, are now pulling it overnight like they just realized they signed up for a pyramid scheme written in disappearing ink, slapping signs on shelves that read out of stock until further notice while quietly Googling how to return a Duchess ego in 6 easy steps. One boutique owner anonymously admitted they were sold on Meghan's name alone, thinking they had backed a movement wrapped in mindfulness, when really they were funding a meltdown dressed in gold-plated nonsense. And trust me, nothing says exposure quite like having your own brand become a liability faster than Trump's windmill conspiracy or Musk's last failed rocket launch. Because when your idea of leadership looks less like Lincoln and more like projection wrapped in turtlenecks and all caps tweets, you don't build loyalty. You build suspicion, you lose retailers, and eventually you lose relevance completely. So yes, folks, while Meghan keeps pretending this is just another bump in the road, while she keeps telling herself she's winning the long game, we'll be right here breaking it down with zero mercy and zero surprise, one viral leak at a time, one stunned silence followed by thunderous clicks across gossip sites and late night monologues alike. Because when your entire operation runs on ego, denial, and the illusion of control, someone always shows up with the right move. And baby, that move just dropped. Harder than a congressional hearing. Faster than Musk tries to delete a tweet after realizing he sounded dumb. And louder than Trump screaming at portraits inside Mar-a-Lago. Boom. Just like that, checkmate. In the messiest way possible.
Disaster, actually, but she keeps calling herself a businesswoman, and she hasn't, because it's all fallen down. And she's there on her own trying to do it, she pretends, but she's got loads of people. One of the cooking days, she had 80 people to help her in her house.
Not even in compliance with the FDA. We were duped. We cannot jeopardize client safety or legal action. Meghan's situation is made worse by the fact that large organic food wholesalers are now reevaluating any future partnerships with her American Riviera Orchard brand. According to insiders, the trust has been betrayed in the cutthroat health food industry. With the pressure building, you don't have another opportunity after that. Behind closed doors, Meghan's legal team is now putting in extra hours, although the legal harm has already begun. Insiders close to the Montecito estate claim that her attorneys are in crisis mode and are frantically attempting to correct the FDA infractions before official fines are imposed. Regulatory penalties, possible consumer class action lawsuits, and more research into the product's manufacturing location and process are now all possibilities. Meghan's team may attempt to reach a private settlement to avoid a public court action, but the PR catastrophe is far from manageable, according to attorneys familiar with FDA cases. A recurring trend has been observed by critics when the real-world repercussions of Meghan's new endeavor become apparent, she hides behind attorneys. Her Spotify arrangement experienced the same thing, and now it's more about style than content once more. Although Meghan's nascent lifestyle firm has made mistakes previously, this one could be the last straw before this FDA scandal. The business never really took off, and American Riviera Orchard was already having trouble with embarrassing influencer campaigns that didn't go viral and ridiculed cookie gift boxes that critics refer to as cheap Pinterest cosplay. According to marketing experts, the main issue is straightforward. There is no content, no narrative, and no vision. Meghan's visage has been put on a jar in an attempt to appeal to nostalgia. Any chance of creating enduring brand loyalty has now been eliminated by this most recent issue. Once interested customers are now disenchanted, and industry experts predict Meghan will need to completely change her brand or leave the lifestyle market. Meghan Markle's homecoming was expected to be a gentle, benign relaunch of her public persona. Instead, it's becoming a full-blown corporate disaster, with public opinion declining, retail confidence being shattered, and legal issues approaching. Public relations professionals are raising the alarm following the FDA fiasco and retail fallout, and their harsh conclusion is that Meghan Markle's brand confidence is now irreparably damaged. This jam crisis may turn out to be the messiest chapter in her post-royal journey to yet. According to some public relations gurus who spoke to media outlets, Meghan's brand image was already brittle. She walked a tightrope attempting to offer elegance, authenticity, and morality all at once, but that brittle trust has fallen apart as a result of the scandal's revelation. This was her last opportunity to redefine herself. However, how can anybody believe anything you put your name on if you can't even register jam correctly? According to a celebrity crisis manager, there's a clear trend from Spotify's failure to this FDA disgrace. Meghan refuses to take responsibility and overpromises. The Duchess once attempted to portray herself as a new type of businesswoman who would up in the wellness industry, empower women, and develop clean alternatives. However, she has instead turned into a classic example of celebrity branding gone wrong, leaving customers feeling not only let down, but also duped. The FDA has issued guidance asking consumers to report any continued sale of as yet unreported spreads. Fans who have turned into critics are saturating online forums, Reddit threads, and comment sections with the same sentiment. If Meghan can't even follow basic food laws, what else is she hiding in an almost unprecedented development for a celebrity product? Yes, exactly. Now, Meghan's upscale jam is being seen as a danger to public safety. Several states' food enforcement organizations have begun discreet investigations into stores that continue to sell the product. Gourmet food shops and internet marketplaces have received informal instructions to stop delivery right now. We don't have any records of its safety, source, or packing integrity until it's properly registered. So if you find this product for sale, don't buy it and report it, an FDA spokeswoman said during a local broadcast in California. Unauthorized food distribution is what it is. This kind of reaction is often saved for items that raise concerns about contamination, not celebrity jams. But it shows how seriously the matter is being handled. And this has changed for Meghan. From being Meghan's major comeback into the public eye to becoming the first product ever from a British royal to be informally banned in parts of the United States, the brand that was once wrapped in gold foil and royal nostalgia was now blacklisted by government watchdogs that ended less than a week ago. This was Meghan's worst nightmare. What began as an innocent jar of jam has descended into a public relations catastrophe, a regulatory nightmare, and a disgrace that will define the rest of one's career. From the FDA shutdown to the false organic claims to the public disparaging the product online, Meghan Markle has now pierced yet another layer of credibility. Meghan Markle's brand was originally intended to represent a new beginning, a brand about home, heart, and healing. But instead, it has become a national warning sign about celebrity vanity projects lacking substance. Her group is rushing, her detractors are having a field day, while her admirers are perplexed. As one former fan put it, she betrayed trust, which was more important than jam. It's unclear if Meghan will be able to bounce back from this. However, there is now little doubt that the American Riviera orchard may become the subject of the quickest decline in popularity ever recorded by a celebrity lifestyle brand. Suddenly, the jam is no longer available, and Meghan's reputation among the public is also gone.